We, the inheritors of and successors to this family of outlets, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's Thursday, March 17th, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, environmentalists putting a handle on one of the biggest threats to coral reefs in our waters. An Irish educator living in the Bahamas talks about why they celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And we give you an inside look at what nutrients in the coconut offers. So let's start the morning off right.
The Morning Edition is brought to you by We Buy, You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
Team, together everyone achieves more. Get it? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good morning, everybody, as we get ready for the royal visit. I'm Prince Charles. Hope you're having a great morning so far. And we're here to cheer it all up. You have a good smile on your face. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day.
It's St. Patty's Day, yes.
So what is the significance of St. Patrick's Day?
I'm going to let the educator later on in the newscast explain what St. Patrick's Day is.
Green
I know the leprechaun.
I didn't get the memo. Green is one of my favorite colors from St. John's,
really?
the QC, the Kingsway, the schools, but I didn't get them. I just totally forgot yesterday. After eating that sardine and coconut with hot sauce and onion for breakfast yesterday, I had a pretty good sleep last night.
So are you getting forgetful? Did the coconut and sardine make you forgetful?
And guess what?
Don't forget tomorrow. Gotta wear your green tomorrow as well.
Green tomorrow for kidney, but don't forget as well, we have another story on coconut coming up this morning with Crystal.
Oh, she made me hungry. I'm sorry, but she made me hungry. But yesterday, that coconut treat yesterday, Fisher. Oh boy.
And don't forget, we also have a young lady in our studio this morning talking about ladies' health. Well, I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to getting out there on the streets this morning because it's going to be a very busy St. Patty Day. Good morning, Crystal, and good morning, Corporal Kim.
Good morning, Fisher and LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. We're here on Windsor Field Road, and I'm here with Officer Kemp. And this morning, happy St. Patrick's Day. I think it's going to be a beautiful morning. Despite some of the little weather we have out here, it's a bit rainy, but still feels nice and cool. Officer Kemp, good morning.
Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Bahamas.
Okay, so could you talk to us about traffic over the last 24 hours?
Well, reported to us were over 6 accidents. One of those would have been a hit and run. And I want to remind the drivers that when you're involved in a traffic collision, please remain on scene of the accident. If your vehicle is not licensed, not insured, well, it's too late at that point. Don't just take it upon yourself to just leave the scene of the accident, because when we would have caught up with you, you will find that you will find yourself in more problems when it concerns the law.
And of course, we would deem certain motorists as irresponsible drivers who would not have their cars up to date and commit other offenses. Could you talk to us about other things that may have happened over the last 24 hours?
Well, as a reminder to the drivers of their please, it's incumbent on you as the person responsible for that vehicle to make sure your vehicle is roadworthy before coming on the street. Within the last few days, Crystal, we would have cited over 500 persons for various offenses, and persons who have been traveling in this Western District would have noticed a lot of speed checks that were being done by the police force. And this is in an effort to encourage persons to slow down and to get your vehicles in order before coming out on the streets. To speak further about drivers who are irresponsible, You know, you have persons who pull up to these food stores. They love to leave their vehicles running. That is an offense. I want you to know that that's the problem. That is so irresponsible for you as a driver to pull up to a business establishment and leave your vehicle running. And then what happens is a would-be criminal would then take advantage of that opportunity that you presented to them and move your vehicle. Reported on yesterday evening, a vehicle would have been stolen in the western area. And the scary part about that is the would-be criminal would have left with the person's children in the backseat of the vehicle, and they were not aware. Thank God that they had a conscience enough to at least stop, allow those kids out of the vehicle, and continue on with their criminal activity. And I want to say to the drivers out there again, please, that is so irresponsible of you, especially when you leave your kids in the vehicle, to exit the vehicle, go into a business establishment while it's running. So I want to remind the public about that, to please cease and desist with that.
Okay, and one more thing, while we're on this road, we know that a lot of accidents tend to happen, especially further up going toward the east. Could you talk about, just send out a reminder there to motorists about speeding? I know you had some speed checks here yesterday as well.
We have had a number of speed checks in this western area, and we're going to continue to have speed checks in this area to encourage road users to please adhere to the traffic laws and obey the speed limit. In this area, it's 30 miles per hour. In the inner city, it's 25 miles per hour. When you hit the highway, you will find that you might have some leeway in the increase of speed of 45 miles per hour. And we ask that you be responsible in obeying any traffic rules and regulations that is in place for your safety and the safety of the other road users. Also, if I may, I want to say to Fisher, being a man of his word, his recipes, like what Fisher comes up with, that he takes my faith to another level in the Lord. And I want to encourage him to keep encouraging people like me to take our faith to another level. Because you have a lot of faith to eat what he prepares.
Well said, well said. Back to you in the studio, Fisher and LaDawn.
Thanks a lot so much, Kim. 73 degrees we are waking up to, mostly cloudy, wind southeast at 6 miles per hour. Humidity 88%. Our weak cold front is expected to scrape the extreme northwest Bahamas and increase rain chances across that area, while high pressure dominates elsewhere today. For the northwest Bahamas, weather partly to mostly sunny and warm with a chance of a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms, mainly offshore in the vicinity of the frontal boundary today. Mostly fair and mild with the chance of a few stray showers tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather mostly sunny, warm and breezy with the chance of a few isolated showers today. Mostly fair and breezy with the chance of a few passing showers tonight. Your daytime high temperature, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low of 68. And as we look ahead to Friday and Saturday, mostly sunny and beautiful on Friday. Good beaching weather, same as Saturday, but on Friday, 84 in the day, 74 at night, and then on Saturday, 83 in the day, 74 at night.
The accounting practices of the former administration coming under scrutiny, and to the point that it's still generating serious concern. Minister of Finance, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis disclosed as much as he led off debate on the 2021-2022 mid-year budget in the House of Assembly Wednesday.
Anti-corruption organizations like Transparency International warned that some governments would seek to use the health emergency to bypass ordinary procurement rules. It would allow them to hide their spending decisions. I drew this to their attention on many occasions in opposition. And I regret to say that this has happened here in our own country. Who was getting how much and for what purpose?
Scores turning out at the Southern Recreational Grounds Wednesday evening to reflect on the life of young Carissa Culmer, whose body was found hanging by a cord from the ceiling in a room at the hotel on West Bay Street, being classified as a suspected suicide last week. The incident has since renewed calls for stiffer penalties and swift legislation against gender-based violence and mental health. Wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, calling on the relevant authorities to act now.
We stand in solidarity, resolved in our mourning to ensure that this tragedy will not be repeated again. We have lost another one that, by all indications, could have been supported more effectively, more swiftly, and more thoroughly. The time for action is now. We will not let another day go by without advocating for the change we wish to see in this nation.
A group of men also visiting Thompson Lane to do their part in putting a dent in crime, called the Brotherhood. The group consists of reformed gang members headed by Carlos Reed.
They need this corner to be lighted. They don't feel safe. Next one say that they want to be able to clean up this community and make people feel good about, living in these areas. The impression that we got that these are real proud people through these communities, and they just want an opportunity to feel good about their environment. Sometimes what we get is more to the negative things that happen in these communities, but not how people really come together and do things.
The benefits of drone use being explored by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, and it's hoped their efforts could yield some positive returns for farmers and fishermen. Agriculture Minister the Honorable Clay Sweeting was at a recent drone demonstration conducted at the Blue Hills Field Farms Aquaponic Research Center in Western New Providence.
These drones could assist farmers for area mapping, facilitation of transfer of product from one island to the other. Some of these drones could travel as far as 500 miles. So it's a way to bring innovation and technology and integrate it with the sector that we're trying to grow.
Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is celebrating women in technology. We're taking this opportunity to pause and highlight the leading ladies in information, communication, and technology who are breaking stereotypes and shattering glass ceilings. We hope you'll join us in honoring the tremendous girl power that keeps our community connected.
Shipping and delivery service. They are fast and efficient. They bring the ease of shopping to your fingertips. Free delivery and no dimensional weight charge. They're also offering 25% sign-up discount for the first 6 months. Make sure give Blue Waters a call today at 1-242-803-5604. Visit their website today at bwshipping242.com. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
For as long as we've been a country, these islands have been a favorite for royalty. And for as long as the royals have adored us as a people, we've always been hospitable and gracious hosts. From a colony to a nation, now on the cusp of its golden anniversary, these shores have celebrated royal visits with class and dignity that is wholly Bahamian. As Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth celebrates her platinum anniversary on the throne, the islands of the Bahamas welcomes the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge on this, their first visit to the country. Our coverage starts Thursday, March 24th at 4 p.m. and continues through their departure Saturday, March 26th. The ZNS Network, your home for the royal visit. William and Kate.
Well, today is St. Patrick's Day, or the Feast of the St. Patrick. The cultural and religious celebration is Ireland's national holiday, celebrated every March 17th. Austin Mullen, art and crafts instructor at Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School, has been teaching in the Bahamas for some 25 years, but was born and raised in Ireland. He shared with us the significance of this day.
Patrick wasn't actually born in Ireland, but he was actually brought to Ireland as a slave, and then later he escaped and then later came back, and he was one of the first people to introduce Christianity to the people of Ireland. So he was actually a slave, came to Ireland as a slave, and then came back after he had escaped, but returned to bring Christianity to the people of Ireland. who at that point were pagan. I just want to use this opportunity to clarify one thing. My wonderful American friends have taken the clover and turned it into an Irish St. Patrick's Day thing, but actually St. Patrick used the shamrock, which is a 3-leafed clover, and he used that to explain to the pagan people of Ireland how it was possible to have the Trinity. The same way you have a leaf that has, a leaf that has 3 parts, is the same way the Godhead has the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, even though they're all one thing. So St. Patrick used that as obviously it still is and was back then a very common thing to find shamrock around Ireland. So he used that to illustrate to the pagan people of Ireland at the time how the Godhead worked.
Well, it seems that many Bahamians are being diagnosed with rare diseases, and this morning we're joined by Princia Bethel, who's in dire need of our help. Princia, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So, Princia, talk to me a little bit about your diagnosis. Talk to me about that.
So basically, about a week and a half ago, I was diagnosed with an ovarian teratoma. I recently learned that a teratoma is a mass or a form of a tumor that comes about from your germ cell not developing properly. So it results in an actual tumor that can grow hair, it can grow teeth, it can grow eyes, it can grow bones. So it's a very rare yet kind of creepy but interesting disease.
And I know you're having an event to raise funds for treatment. Talk to me about that, and for a procedure rather. Talk to me about that.
So basically, I found out that I have to have this surgery. So that was a bit daunting for me, being a 30-year-old with no children. The teratoma is one of my ovaries. And so I found out that I actually have to create a means to generate money for the surgery. And so I was thinking to myself, I don't really want to have an average cookout or traditional cookout. So I wanted something that was unique, I guess an alternate way of fundraising. So I decided to have a picnic brunch in the park. And the park, I mean the Retreat Gardens, known as the BNT opposite QC. And the idea just basically snowballed, and as I reached out to other women, I learned that so many women struggle with a lot of reproductive health challenges. And so I wanted to make it a holistic event that would actually bring awareness, bring education, and bring support to a lot of women who suffer from these type of challenges. For example, endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, all of these issues.
Are you still able to have kids?
I am praying and hoping that yes, and I'm going to speak it into existence. Yes, I will. One of the methods to rectify this issue is to remove one of my ovaries. So I'm just hoping, because the teratoma is actually 13 centimeters. To give you an illustration, my ovary is 3 centimeters. So it is kind of enveloping one of my ovaries. So I'm going to say that yes, in the future, by God's grace, I definitely will have kids.
And what's your expectation of the turnout for your event?
I'm hoping that many people come. I have tapped into networks, and this is something that I've learned throughout this entire process, that support is key. Ensuring that your network will support you is definitely important. So I'm looking for people to come and support at the Retreat Gardens.
When and where and what time?
So it's a picnic benefit brunch. That's what I like to call it. And it's going to be this coming Saturday, March 19th from 9 to 12. Again, it's a brunch. So it's going to be at the Retreat Gardens opposite QC, 9 to 12, this coming Saturday.
Princia Bethel, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition. All the best to you and your event.
Thank you for having me.
And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On March 17th, 1965, the Royal Bank of Canada's newly built building in Freeport, Grand Bahama was officially opened. Also on this day in 1967, the Seafloor Aquarium, located at Fort Charlotte, was officially opened, marking the culmination of a 3-year project that cost $500,000.
They're away first time. It's a really good start for the Hurry. That was of the best races.
Look at that pole, all the energy that he puts in it. He may have decided that this is his time.
My word. And not only does he end on a good note, he ends on an absolute monster.
Sensational, what a way.
The natural resources of the Bahamas play a critical role in supporting Bahamian livelihoods. For example, the fishing and tourism industry, which include fishermen, seafood exporters, hoteliers, dive operators, restaurants, and others. Collectively, they generate approximately $1.5 billion a year. Therefore, we must respect and preserve what we have. These resources belong to us.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
So let's all do our part to maintain our local economy and a good quality of life. Remember, if we take care of nature, nature will take care of us.
Since the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom suffered violence, and the violence took it by storm, calling the afflicted, calling all souls in despair. Welcome to the Voice of Deliverance telecast from the ministry that is reaching out all over the land, delivering souls and changing lives. The Voice of Deliverance. We're on the move for the Lord. The Voice of Deliverance. We've got a message from
Well, the Bahamas National Trust hosted a major Caribbean workshop with participants from Grenada, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, Antigua, and yes, the Bahamas. It was a workshop executed by Birds Caribbean, a group whose goal is conservation of the species across the Caribbean, and hosted by BNT, Science Officer Giselle Dean.
About bird monitoring and specifically bird banding, which will be used to help us see what kind of movements birds are making across the region. It will help us do local monitoring to see what kind of resident birds are staying in certain areas, and it will help us see where certain migrants that are overwintering in Caribbean countries end up in places like the United States and Canada.
Birds Caribbean Director Ann Hayes Sutton explains how the Bahamas was chosen to host such a workshop.
Birds Caribbean has a long relationship with BNT. We've been coming here for probably more than 20 years. So when we were looking for a location in the Caribbean, this was one of our first choices because we knew we'd find a wonderful location and a hospitable NGO to work with.
Sutton went on to explain that bird watching throughout the Caribbean is enjoyed more by the foreigners than locals.
It's a very valuable part of everybody's experience of the common heritage of the Caribbean. The Caribbean is a global hotspot for birds and biodiversity in general. People can get so much pleasure from watching birds in your garden, especially in this time of COVID when you can't go anywhere. You can look outside and see wondrous things, and actually you can make discoveries. Like many of our birds, our local birds, they haven't even been well described. So even an ordinary person can go outside and make scientific discoveries that are absolutely new to the world.
And it's becoming a big business.
Ecotourism is one of the fastest growing aspects of global tourism. But for the Caribbean so far, it's hard for us to get beyond the sun and sand and sea, and to get people interested in the beauty of like your primeval forest or even somewhere like this. So something that we really need to build on. There's lots of potential. I think lots of people could make, not huge amounts of money, but add to their incomes from getting interested and learning more about birds and how to share them with visitors and locals.
Environmentalists are preparing to tackle one of the biggest threats to coral reefs that we've been seeing in recent years. Here's Crystal Darling.
They are calling it coral COVID. The stony coral tissue loss disease, which was first identified in Bahamian waters in 2019, has now reportedly been cited in Abaco. And as the disease spread throughout the archipelago, environmentalists and conservationists say they can tackle the problem to save the coral that directly impacts the sustainability of tourism, fisheries, and the waterscape.
We know it's all around New Providence. We know it is up and down the coast of New Providence, up and down the coast of Grand Bahama. It showed up in the Fall Keys National Park. It's in San Salvador. So we know that it's throughout our country, but the only way we can quantify exactly where it is to do what we're hoping to get done starting as early as next week.
According to researchers at the Perry Institute of Marine Science, PIMS, over 100 miles of reef have already been infected in the Bahamas. However, their findings are limited and heavily reliant on information from fishermen and recreational divers as researchers await approval on permits. Officials at PIMS confirmed having acquired the treatments for the coral disease, and once the approval is made, they can begin the restoration effort. Signs of an infected coral include loss of color and abandonment by the sea creatures that once thrived on and around it, turning it into what they call coral reef graveyards. Bahamas National Trust Executive Director Eric Carey explains that familiar species like grouper, conch, snapper, turtles, and lobster, among thousands of others, will be at risk of decline as the situation intensifies.
Fish need healthy ecosystems. If we're going to continue to enjoy fish, we have to do what we can to try and reverse the decline, arrest this monster. And the only way we can do it is with the action that we have underway and proposed with our colleagues from PIMS, the Nature Conservancy, Reef, DMR, the Department of Marine Resources, and the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. In the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
More teenage girls are getting pregnant and later seek the assistance from the Providing Access for Continued Education organization or PACE for further intervention. President Patrice Miller says the increase in numbers, especially in this pandemic, is quite alarming.
We are concerned because the younger they are, it serves more as a distraction in terms of them having the ability to be successful, and not that they cannot after the baby, but usually it's harder for them to get back on track the younger they are. We have girls that ranges from the age of 13 up until the age of 18. And so for our students, I won't say that they're younger, but we're seeing the 13, 14, 15-year-olds more than usual.
But despite that increase in numbers, Miller says the program has a proven track record.
Our girls that are 13 through 16, we are able to place them back in the mainstream. We have had students who were successful at BTVI as well as the University of the Bahamas, and also students who are 16 to 18 and older. We try and get them on the job. We try to get them on the job. And then what we also find, we have programs. We offer Bahama Host at PACE. We offer computer. We offer cosmetology, hair braiding. All those things are offered for the girls so that if school is not an option, then the job market and skills that we provide will help them.
Well, coconuts grow naturally all around us, but how much do we know about these? Well, Crystal Darling is going to tell us right now.
When you see they come, the first thing they ask you for is about the coconut. And they be so excited to
see that they have the natural coconut here in the Bahamas.
He's right. On just about any beach around the island, coconut trees are there, towering high above our heads. But what's even more enjoyable is the delicious fruit that come from these tropical wonders. We might take for granted the luxury of always having access to them, but visitors to the Bahamas take full advantage anytime they can, like Sophia and Mia from Florida, who are tasting coconut water for the very first time.
It was nice. I mean, we got to see them like cut it up and stuff, and when we drank it, it was really refreshing and tasty, right? Yeah.
What does it taste like to you?
It tastes like water, but fruity. Like fresh.
Okay, and what does it taste like to you?
It's nothing that I've ever tasted before, but like it's really good. It's a new experience for me, so it's really good.
Coconuts and coconut water have this association with vacation, relaxation, chilling out on the beach, and living your best life. And guess what? Turns out that's exactly how your body feels when you drink it. Nutritionist Shay King says that this beverage has much more benefits than others.
It definitely have the electrolytes component, and also in terms of calories and nutrition, there is less calories in coconut water. It has somewhere between 45 to 50 calories per cup for coconut water. So overall, for health and weight loss, coconut water will definitely be a better choice.
And the name coconut water may throw you off too. Contrary to popular belief, it's actually a juice, not water, which is why King says it makes for a good substitute for water, other juices, and even energy drinks. So now that we've talked all about the water, are you ready for that jelly?
It is a complex carbohydrate foods. It's still high in nutritional value, and it's still a good food to have when you're talking about health and weight loss. However, if you are on a weight loss track, you definitely want to minimize the amount of servings of coconut that you have a day, because coconut does taste good and you are likely to overeat when it comes to coconut.
I love coconut water, and if you're anything like me, you won't pass up on an opportunity to get a fresh sip straight from the source. But how do you chop those hard shells open? If you're chopping with a sharp, broad cutlass like Abner Felix at the coconut water stall on Montague Beach, you want to firmly hold your hand on the opposite end of the coconut from where you're slashing down. And he gives us a little extra tip, too.
And the reason why I'm cut this piece out is because that sometimes they want to use this as a cup. You see this here? You put it on the table, and they cut while they sitting down. They could use it as a cup. See?
Don't I have a busy day?
Thirsty,
I'm feeling some coconut juice just to give me some energy today. You need some energy in your...
You need some energy. It sounds like you need more than just coconut.
Be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS Network for news as it happens. TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition in the Bahamas tonight at 7 o'clock. The countdown is on. A few more days.
Until the big birthday, Vash. Have a great morning, everybody.
This thing don't discriminate. I want you to know when karma come round. Don't wear a frown when you're raining on your parade. But don't you know that while you're out looking for sugar, someone can taste your honey. Don't you know that while you're out looking for sugar, someone can taste your honey.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
This husband and wife team up. The goal is really to bring clients together through fitness in a good way.
My last name is Smith, and fitness is what I do. So that's where it really came about.
He gives visitors a history lesson of hidden treasures in Crooked Island.
They be in amazement because some of them have been coming here long years ago and they never know that some things like this exist on the island.
And over in Long Island, this retired teacher lets nothing go to waste.
I am blessed. Whatever God puts in my hand, I use it.
Everyone has a legacy to create our own footprints in the sand. Although our stories others can't relate, that's what makes me who I am. I'm just like
you, you're just like me. We're all no different, we're all the same. I'm just like you, you're just like me. We're all no different, we're all the same. We are ordinary, but extraordinary. We are ordinary people. We are ordinary, but extraordinary. We are ordinary people.
They are a team, and as some would say, one without the other just won't do. For Lovato and Rookman Smith, their desire is to start fresh and set new fitness goals. That's why Get Fit with Smith was started.
It started from me living in Adelaide Village, wanted to be different, wanted to change. And I use fitness to express how I feel. My mother was raped for me. So my outlet was just working out. And when I met my wife, because it really started when I met my wife, who was my girlfriend back then. And we were on the beach working out. She got pregnant, of course. She's working out. And she's like, honey, why don't you just do it full time? I'm like, nah, this doesn't make sense.